All right, welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating new front in the fight against cancer. And we're going to do it by asking a simple question. What if we've been missing one of its most important fuel sources this whole time? Okay, so let me ask you something right off the bat. When I say the words cancer's diet, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? Yeah, I'm guessing sugar is what you're thinking, right? And look, you're not wrong. The idea that cancer loves glucose is super well known. But what if I told you that's only like half the story? A really big piece of the puzzle has been kind of overlooked. So, to get the full picture, we have to look beyond the usual suspects. We need to uncover cancer's other fuel to really understand this hidden appetite that researchers are now finally getting laser focused on. And here's the big reveal. It turns out that those aggressive cancer cells are incredibly resourceful. They don't just gobble up sugar and protein. Nope, they are also absolutely ravenous for fats, or, to be more precise, fatty acids, to power their insane growth. Now, there's a name for this process, fatty acid metabolism. And honestly, the easiest way to picture it is like a little factory inside the cancer cell. It pulls in raw fat, and then it churns out two crucial products. First, pure energy, just to keep the lights on and survive. And second, the actual building blocks it needs to copy itself over and over again at that terrifying speed. This discovery isn't just some interesting science trivia. It completely opens up a new playbook for researchers. Because if cancer has this whole other fuel line, well, maybe there's a whole new way to shut it down. So this begs a really important question, right? If cancer has this second major fuel pipeline, this fat supply that's just as vital as sugar, what can we do with that information? What's the next logical step for scientists? And the strategy that comes out of this is honestly beautifully simple. If fat is a key fuel, what if we could just, cut that fuel line? What if we could just shut down that internal factory altogether? And this isn't just a hypothetical what if kind of thing. It's a very real and very exciting area of preclinical research. We're talking lab-based research, so not in human trials just yet, but scientists are actively hunting for compounds that can throw a wrench in the works and block this entire fat metabolism pathway. Okay, and this is where the story gets really interesting, because the things they're looking at to do this job, well, they're not what you'd expect at all. We're talking about a surprising cast of compounds, some truly unexpected allies. Right, so get this. We're not talking about some super complex, brand new billion-dollar drug designed from the ground up in a lab. No, the potential heroes in this story might actually be hiding in plain sight, things you've definitely heard of before. So, the first place they're looking? The pharmacy, specifically at common drugs that are already used for totally different things. It's what's known as an off-label investigation. And the big one here is statins. Yeah, you heard that right. The very same drugs that millions of people take every single day to manage their cholesterol are now being studied for their potential to jam up this critical fat pathway inside cancer cells. But wait, it doesn't even stop there. The search is also leading researchers down the supplement aisle of your local health store. We're talking about stuff you've probably seen 100 times. Resveratrol, the stuff in grapes and red wine, curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric, and EGCG, that powerful antioxidant found in green tea. All of them are now being looked at for this exact same reason. So what you have here is this incredible double life for these super common compounds. On the one hand, they're doing their normal 9 to 5, lowering cholesterol or being an antioxidant. But on the other hand, researchers are giving them a whole new job interview to see if they can block fat metabolism in cancer. And look, this isn't just a bunch of scientists throwing random stuff at the wall to see what sticks. This is so serious that research tools like the OncoIntegrate Protocol builder mentioned in the source material are actually creating a single unified category for all of these things, from a cholesterol drug to a tea extract. They call them fatty acid pathway inhibitors. That's how organized and serious this line of thinking is. And really, it all boils down to this key takeaway, which is summed up perfectly by this quote from our source. Blocking fat metabolism is another avenue of preclinical research. It's a really simple sentence, but it represents a huge and incredibly hopeful new direction in cancer research. So as we wrap this up, it leaves us with a question that's kind of wild to think about. Could a piece of the future of cancer treatment literally be hiding in plain sight right now, sitting right there in our medicine cabinets and our kitchen pantries? It's a powerful idea to think about. Thanks for tuning in.